Listen to stories and appreciate idioms. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Encountering Chinese, Encountering Idioms. Today, the idiom we are going to encounter is
反唇相譏.
Let's break it down and read it slowly.
反唇相譏反唇相譏反唇相譏反唇
literally means to turn one's lips in a way that shows dissatisfaction or disagreement. It is figuratively used to mean retorting or talking back.
相
refers to, towards or pointing to.
譏
refers to mocking, ridiculing, or sarcastically mocking.
反唇相譏
means to retort and mock the other person by using words. It now metaphorically describes a situation where someone, who is being criticized and is not willing to accept it, responds by mocking, ridiculing, or sarcastically criticizing the other person in return. The idiom
反唇相譏
originated from the
陈正事书
written by Jia Yi during the Han Dynasty. The original text states,
妇姑不相悦，则反唇而相讥.
The meaning of this phrase is that if a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law do not get along or dislike each other, they will resort to blaming or complaining about each other. The historical allusion behind this phrase is this. Once upon a time in the Warring States period of ancient China, the state of Qin was considered relatively backward compared to other feudal states. At that time, Qin lacked a comprehensive legal system, and society was in chaos. People would engage in fights and robberies over minor interests. In the year 361 BC, King Xiaogong succeeded to the throne, becoming the ruler of Qin. He witnessed the chaotic state of the entire country and became deeply concerned. He realized that if Qin continued on this path, it would never become strong. Without strength, Qin would soon be swallowed up by other states. Determined to change the fate of his nation, King Xiaogong issued a proclamation throughout the country. The proclamation stated, "As we all know, our Qin state is relatively weak among the feudal states, and our people lack unity, often engaging in fights. As the king, I am deeply worried about the future of our country. I hereby declare that whoever has ideas for governing the country and can make Qin strong will be given high-ranking positions and rewarded with a substantial amount of silver." The proclamation quickly spread throughout the various states. In the state of Wei, there was a young man named Shang Yang. Shang Yang was born into a prestigious family in Wei and became an official in the state upon reaching adulthood. However, he was never given significant responsibilities, which greatly frustrated him. Shang Yang made several attempts to meet the king of Wei and discuss his strategies for governing the state, but he was always turned away without an audience. Feeling hopeless, he happened to come across the aforementioned proclamation. Shang Yang thought, "Since I am unable to demonstrate my abilities in Wei, why not go to Qin? Perhaps the king of Qin will be willing to listen to my ideas and give me an opportunity." With determination, Shang Yang resigned from his position in Wei and decided to journey to the state of Qin. Upon arriving in Qin, Shang Yang sought out his friends in Qin and asked them to help recommend him to King Xiaogong. Hearing of Shang Yang's talent, King Xiaogong became highly interested. He ordered his officials to invite Xiangyang and hear his ideas on governing the country. Xiangyang arrived at the palace of King Xiaogong and saw the king himself. King Xiaogong eagerly asked him, "Sir, I've heard that you have ideas for governing the country. Could you please share them with me in detail?" Xiangyang replied, "Your Majesty, before coming here, I carefully observed the lives of the Qin people and studied the state's laws. I discovered that there are too many loopholes in Qin's legal system, which will only lead to increasing chaos if left unchanged. In order for the country to become strong, we should quickly reform the current legal system." Xiangyang passionately expressed his ideas, and King Xiaogong nodded in agreement. The two of them conversed and found great harmony, talking for several days. King Xiaogong greatly appreciated Xiangyang's abilities and bestowed upon him an important position, allowing him to implement his reform measures. Before long, the new laws were implemented. The new laws were more detailed and strict. With the support of the new laws, the economy of Qin and the fighting power of its military significantly increased. Not only that, but a few years later, Qin grew to become one of the most powerful states among the feudal states. However, the new laws, while making the country strong, also created many problems and tragedies due to their excessive severity. For example, Xiangyang believed that even for minor offenses, individuals should face severe punishments, including the possibility of being executed. Furthermore, the new law stipulated that if one person committed a crime, their entire family must be punished. Xiangyang also established a law requiring residents to register their households, with 5 families forming a unit and 10 households forming a community. This system encouraged mutual surveillance among neighbors and encouraged people to report their own neighbors and family members if they committed any wrongdoing. As a result, people lived in fear, and although physical fights and robberies became rare, neighbors and communities were no longer close. This system deviated from long-standing customs and traditions, even leading to increasingly tense relationships within families. People would argue and accuse each other over trivial benefits. If a mother-in-law or daughter-in-law looked displeased with each other, they would complain and insult each other. Although Xiangyang's reform measures to some extent propelled the development of Qin, they also resulted in social instability and strained interpersonal relationships. Eventually, this set of laws disappeared along with the downfall of Qin. In this story, the conflict between a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, where the mother-in-law complains and the daughter-in-law retorts, embodies the idiom
反唇相譏,
which means to retort in kind or to answer back in mockery. There is another story. Once upon a time, during the Warring States period in ancient China, there were 2 neighboring countries, Qi and Chu. Due to their shared border, conflicts frequently arose over land disputes, causing great suffering for the people living in the region. Recognizing that prolonged conflicts would weaken their own nations, the kings of Qi and Chu decided to send envoys to negotiate at the border. The envoys met and immediately began boasting about the strengths and capabilities of their respective countries. The envoy from Qi confidently declared, "Our military is incredibly powerful, and it's only a matter of time before we defeat Chu." You should surrender and cede vast territories to Qi. In return, our king will forgive Chu, and we will no longer engage in battles. The envoy from Chu, feeling angered by the Qi envoy's words, retorted, "If what you say is true and Qi has such a formidable army, then why haven't you already defeated Chu? Are you afraid of the fierce bravery of our soldiers?" Hearing this, the Qi envoy grew furious and replied without hesitation, "Brave Chu soldiers? That's laughable. Haven't we defeated Chu multiple times? Your words are nothing more than empty boasts." The two envoys continued their heated debate at the border, trading insults and arguments. As time went on, their anger grew to the point where they could no longer speak coherently, forgetting the purpose of their negotiation. Word of their conversation reached the ears of the kings of Qi and Chu. Realizing the futility of their envoys' pointless bickering, which only fueled animosity, the kings decided to send new envoys for peaceful negotiations. This time, the envoys approached the situation without hostility, carefully studying maps and seeking the most suitable solution. Through their efforts, Qi and Chu managed to resolve their border disputes, ceasing their conflicts and allowing the people in the region to live normal lives once again. In this story, the initial envoys engaged in blame and accusation, exemplifying the idiom
反唇相譏,
which means to retort in kind or to answer back in mockery. However, the story demonstrates that such a confrontational approach does not solve problems but rather intensifies hostility and misunderstanding. Therefore, when conflicts arise, engaging in calm and rational dialogue might be a better way to reach a resolution. Two stories have been told. Next, let's review the idiom we encountered today.
反唇相譏, 反唇相譏.
Finally, let's use
反唇相譏.
to make a sentence.
我的朋友们，现在不是反唇相譏的时候。我的朋友们，现在不是反唇相譏的时候。
That's all for today's Encountering Idioms. If you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. See you next time.